Hey guys, welcome to the Dad Shoes Podcast, the dad group you don't have to go to.
Connor, how are you feeling about the NFL lineup this week?
This week, I am very pleased actually.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
Oh yeah, we're getting ready for, as we record, the NFC and AFC championship games.
Yeah.
And much to your dismay,
My dismay.
the Green Bay Packers will not be participating.
Listen, 6 months ago, I'd have been upset. Then Aaron Rodgers had to go be a dick. And now it's gee, thanks Aaron Rodgers. Karma bit you in the butt, and now none of us get to watch the Packers in the Super Bowl. Thanks.
Yeah. You know, the Lions fan in me is very pleased.
You know what?
I will say the NFL fan in me, though, I feel a little bad for Aaron Rodgers.
That's my point. I would feel bad for Aaron Rodgers, but he had to go and screw the pooch.
If he didn't have COVID toe.
If he didn't have COVID toe.
You know who else is not? I'm also very pleased because a certain Tom Brady is not participating in any of the AFC or NFC championship games.
I was going to get to that because as an NFL fan, as a football fan, I'm sick of Tom Brady. If he hadn't won 74 Super Bowls with the Patriots, his going to the Bucs and winning the first season with the Bucs at Tampa, that was really cool. But freaking Tom Brady, seriously? So
gotta give him credit. I mean,
credit
the
where
man's
it's due.
life is football.
Yeah.
And he actually he posted today because I know you're not following too closely these days, but today Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers announced his retirement.
Finally.
And finally.
Listen, when I graduated high school, or shortly after, that guy got in a motorcycle accident. He'd already been to the Super Bowl, right? He got in a motorcycle accident, planted his face in the pavement. It
was an interesting comment. It was a tweet that I saw from Tom Brady, basically saying, this man rejected the TB12 lifestyle. But you know what? He still went to 6 Pro Bowls and 2 Super Bowls. So it's more than one way to bake a cake.
Yeah. Look, I listened to the Armchair Expert episode with Tom Brady, and that was the moment I decided that I can separate Tom Brady, the dude, from Tom Brady, the football player. And Tom Brady, the dude's kind of an inspirational person. Tom Brady, the football player, the Patriots player, is I'm so sick of him, man. F him.
We may be a little biased as Dolphins fans, but...
Yeah, I know. And listen, all you out there who are saying, wait, he just said he's a Lions fan and Jage is a Packers fan. What do you mean Dolphins fans? First of all, one's NFC, one's AFC, right?
Yeah, you got to have one of each. You get one of each.
You get one of each. It makes it fine. And as lifelong Dolphins, we're allowed to pick a good team. I don't know why Connor picked the Lions, but here we are.
South Florida residents, so we get the Dolphins soon. You know what? However many teams you want.
Yeah, dude. And I decided it was this week because I upgraded my cable so I could have cable, and I never got a cable box, and it's a whole other story. But just so I could watch football, and I didn't get all of the football channels, just basic cable so I could watch most of them. And I don't watch any of them. It has been totally wasted. I still turn on my TV to live TV, over-the-air antenna TV, because that's all I watch. And I don't put the TV on often. So if I had people to watch with, I would watch more football. And that's what I came down to. But I would still consider myself a football fan. I won't watch it outside of a social setting. I'll put it on, I'll put on big games or the Packers or the Dolphins, as long as my kids aren't demanding the TV. But otherwise, I'll watch it with people. And that's what makes football fun for me anyways, is rooting for my team with or in contest with friends. So,
yeah. I'm a little bit more into it. I follow a little bit more closely.
Well, you also play fantasy.
Play fantasy football, but I just enjoy watching the game. And, we had some really great games last week, but it's becoming harder and harder to convince me that the NFL is not completely scripted.
You know?
Because I was watching the Rams game. As a Lions fan, I want to support Matthew Stafford, and that man is finally getting
good.
all the recognition he deserves. But man, watching Tom Brady like working on that comeback, I was like, this is freaking of course.
Right.
Of course. And this, I'd already given up. Like once they start coming back, it's like Tom Brady's on a roll. And it's almost like Roger Goodell called the refs, called the coaches, and was like, hey guys, people are starting to tune out. We need to make this game exciting. Let's let Tom Brady score some points here so we keep people in. And then all of a sudden, fourth quarter, Matthew Stafford shows up, puts it in the books.
Yeah.
Clocks it for the field goal, keeps them from going to overtime.
Awesome.
It's like, all right, guys, we got what we needed. Close her up. Close her up. It's just stuff like that. And you put this on the script for tonight, and I should have been writing down my examples because I've been complaining about this to you for
you have been
a couple weeks now.
And there's been moments, and I mean, when Brady was still with the Pats, there were games that are like, are the refs watching the same game I'm watching because they missed a call, or that was a terrible call, or 1 minute you get a guy hand up inside the face mask, nothing, and then the next call or the next possession, the defender lightly touches the guy going to field the ball, and it's a pass interference. It's like,
yeah,
you guys aren't paying attention.
You got to give some leniency. Like, and my stance is not just on bad calls by the refs.
Right.
Like, some of it is just like, you can't believe the game is going this way. Like, you couldn't have written it any better. You couldn't have written it any more exciting than the way it just happened. And it's unbelievable sometimes.
I mean,
another example that I had
Super
came
Bowls
from...
ago when Tom Brady was losing to the Seahawks, they were down by like 4 touchdowns. And there's 3 minutes left in the game, and they score 4 touchdowns. Unheard of. It wasn't 4 minutes left, but
yeah, that was a little, and I think it was the Falcons.
Whatever, it was a bird.
It was the 27-3 game. He's down 27-3 in the third quarter.
That was it.
Almost exactly what happened to the Rams, which is why everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is Tom Brady coming back again." You need more than 24 points on Tom Brady in the third quarter,
right?
Or he's coming back for the win.
I mean, it was just such baloney. And I mean, I think it's really easy. You can script a lot of stuff with the refs calls. Like, it's really easy to direct the game. Like, there have been many games lost just by bad calls. And it just, you lose field position, you lose a down, and, the offense may have fielded the ball perfectly, everything looked great, but there's a holding call in the backfield that's, like, questionable.
That the camera just doesn't see.
Right.
Because it's following the ball.
Right.
And it's like, wow, what a great play. That's really going to help this team. And then what was the flag on?
Right. Oh, wait. Now it's fourth
this
down.
Off-screen offense. So it's not just the like refs calls though. It is sometimes the game just goes, something happens and it just like kills the momentum for one team. So an example that I think of last week when the Packers were playing the 49ers, Packers are on defense and it looked like they forced a fumble and picked up the ball.
Right.
But like when you went back and looked at it and the refs didn't call it a fumble, I don't think. When you go back and look at it, it's like that was really close, but they got to call it an incomplete pass and they don't get the fumble. They don't get the ball back.
Right.
So it's like, okay, the 49ers are going to get one more chance. They get to keep the ball. Immediately the next play, Jimmy Garoppolo gets sacked. And it's like, okay, well, now they're going to punt it to you. So it's like the Packers didn't get the ball. Like, you can't have the ball this close to your field goal. So we're going to make sure that is an incomplete pass.
Right.
But you can sack Jimmy Garoppolo, and then they'll punt it to you. You can have it back on the 20.
Right.
You get the full field. It's like they just needed to, after that disappointing call on a fumble. Well, we got to give something to the Packers fans, so let's give them a sack, and they can get a punt, just to keep everybody happy.
So the way that like professional wrestling, like the WWF or WWE now, it's been WWE for like 15 years, but whatever. Anyway.
When's the last time you paid attention to it?
Yeah, it
15
was
years
WWF,
ago,
right? So the way that all works, there you have like the good guy and the bad guy. And you know who's going to win the game or win the match going into it. But everything else, like that's scripted, like it tells the story. Like there's an overarching story over the whole wrestling season. And that tells the story. But what happens during the match is like they come up with it almost on the spot. It's almost like just great improv, and they're communicating and telegraphing their moves. This is what I'm going to do, so that you can act accordingly. And I'm sure that's not what's happening in football, but similarly, it's like like they could come in and they could be all like, "All right, we want the Niners to win this game. We don't want the Pack to win, so we've got to come up with ways to make it work. Like like you can't have this fumble, but you can have the ball back. You just got to make up the whole field, and you got
to make it look good.
Yeah, and I feel like at some point, like I wouldn't say that it's scripted, but I can't argue with you that it's not. Like it kind of makes sense. But
sometimes you just see, and it's like you couldn't write a better story. Like just the amazing games we had last weekend. It's like, all right, we got to give ESPN something to talk about this week,
right?
So all these games are going to come down to a field goal, and the Bills and the Chiefs they could have played forever.
Right.
They could have been going back and forth forever.
But they've got to
have the overtime rule because the Chiefs got the ball first, so they won the game.
I was hearing something, and it may have been a tweet I saw, but somebody was like, the NFL is a however $1 billion a year industry, and things are decided with a coin toss.
Yeah.
Well,
that was that game.
Right.
That was that game with the Bills and the Chiefs, because the Chiefs just got the ball first. But the Bills, and this pains me to say as a Dolphins fan, because I know some very obnoxious Bills fans. I really do. And the Bills were just on fire.
Well,
I honestly think they were the better team. It's just Patrick Mahomes is the amazing player.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just going blow for blow.
I mean, I don't know. I could see where like we want these two teams in the Super Bowl because we think they'll be better this season, or they'll make a good show. But then if it doesn't happen because they whiff or somebody gets hurt or whatever, then I could see them just going with it, but like having a plan for it. So I don't know how they would do it, like logistically, but I could totally see that that's a thing.
We'll find out more. This weekend. You got any picks for the Super Bowl? Do you remember what 4 teams are left?
I do. I actually had it pulled up.
Okay. You got your picks?
It's the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Niners, and the Rams. And I got to say, I could do a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm hoping Chiefs-Rams. I'm sorry, Bengals. You got to really prove it to me this game after what we saw with the Bills and the Chiefs last week. Like...
You've
done amazing. Man. You've come farther than anybody expected you to come this season. You really have.
Right, good for you.
But this one, I don't think you got it in yet. So I'm pulling for a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl, and not just because I'm a Matt Stafford fan. The 49ers have really had the Rams number this season.
Yeah,
they've already beat them twice. They beat them, I believe, both times in the regular season.
That'd be terrible if they lost to him this time.
It would, because the 49ers have such a depleted team right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got a lot of folks who are hurt. So, and I don't want to give that like excuse to the Rams because they're pretty stacked. Like the Rams really are. They got their guys back. Cam Akers is a fumble machine, but he can move, which really helps. He's good at getting between the tackles. And I believe in Matthew Stafford, man. I believe in comeback Stafford. I believe in fourth quarter Stafford. I really think they got the 49ers. You can't get beat by the same team 3 times in a season. You just can't let that happen.
I mean...
But the 49ers are so scrappy, I can only hope that Jimmy Garoppolo is just going to blow it for this team. like
I
he
don't
almost
know.
did against the Packers.
I just I don't know. I mean, like I've already said, I really don't watch football, so I root for my team and I hope they win. And if they do, great. If they don't, all right, whatever. It's not the end of the world. And if I get a chance to watch with people, like we used to go every Sunday, we go watch football, and it was actually pretty expensive. But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time, and
It was good times.
I paid attention to it because we were there watching most of the games. So
Yeah. Well, we are a fatherhood podcast. Do your kids watch football with you at all? Do they have any interest? Do they feign any interest?
No, my mom loves football. Like she's the reason I like football. My dad couldn't care less, and like he will say he's a Dolphins fan because we're from Miami.
He's from Miami,
right?
Yeah,
but
you have to.
I mean, I was gonna say he couldn't even tell you who the quarterback is, and I can't either. But it's because we're switching. Something's up with what's his face.
Who knows?
And I'm terrible with names to begin with, so it's
topic
like,
for another time.
Yeah, but my mom loves it, and she's tried to get the girls into it. And every once in a while, like we'll be at her house, usually during a college game, and she's all fired up for college, and then she'll get the girls worked up for it, but they don't really care. I mean, Charlotte May's 3.5.
Yeah, my kids like it. If you're excited about it, they'll be excited about it.
Yeah.
And so, like, when there was a game that I really wanted to watch and my kids didn't want to watch football at all, I'd have to get really excited about whatever was going on. He caught it! Look, he caught the ball! All right! And then, my kids would pick up on that.
Then they're excited
now,
with you.
Then they're excited about it. Now, like, they're kind of sweet about it. Like, they know that I like to watch football. And so, like, if I'm watching football, they won't just come in and demand the TV. They're like, "You watching football, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yeah, you want to watch with me?"
No.
The only time, and it was really sweet for a little while at the beginning of the season, is that my kids will use it as a way to like stay out of bed a little bit longer because it's like they know I'm going to say yes because like it's bedtime. The game's like at 8:30, and the game will just start, and they're like, "Can I watch football with you?" Okay. And Titus, for a little while, it was so sweet. He'd come out and he'd lay on the couch and he would just be out by the end of the first quarter. Just kind of put himself to sleep on the couch. Super sweet. Pick him up, carry him into bed. It was awesome. That did not last though.
That happened to us tonight.
He would just be wide awake and it's like halftime. I'm like, dude, you gotta go to bed.
Dude.
Like it's way too late.
So I heard about this. The NFL is searching for a couple of podcast hosts to do. It's like a competition. Color commentary competition. I was thinking we should do
podcast.
Oh, jeez, my seat just unlatched. We should do that though. I was thinking
I would be better at like just sports calling.
It's okay, then I'll talk.
Like the color, I think I would struggle with the color commentary.
You think so?
As opposed to like just narrating the game.
We can't just talk about football while it's playing.
I don't know. I think the Manning brothers really perfected that.
I'm really upset. Listen, Disney, if you're listening to this, first of all, hit me up.
Thank you.
Second of all, right? Second of all, fix ESPN Plus. I have ESPN Plus. I got the Disney Plus package, right? And it's great. I got Disney Plus, I got Hulu, and I have ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is garbage. There's nothing on it. You cannot watch anything. You want to watch football that's on ESPN? Guess what? You have to pay for ESPN, not ESPN Plus. It's got the plus. It's like when you come home from school and you show your parents your report card and you go, "I got an A in math," and Dad looks at you and goes, "Should have got a B." I got the top. Why is the bottom better? The heck? Come on, Disney, do better.
I didn't know where you were going with that one for a little bit.
It's just come
with
on.
your A B.
Yeah.
I see. I see it because we've got the same package, and I was surprised what things like, you know, they tell you don't actually get ESPN, but
well,
they don't really tell you that you don't get to watch ESPN. But there were a couple Manning casts, I believe, that were on ESPN Plus as well. It was later in the season, though, and that's like that bugs me because
look, I was gonna watch it. They were off. They started in like week 3, I think.
Yeah,
and then I was gonna watch. My mother told me about it, so after the first week they were on, I go to look for it. I don't have it. I can't watch it anywhere. Can't watch it online. Nothing. So that was when and then they were off the air like mid-season for 2 weeks. So
yeah, they took a little break there, but it was good. I hope they bring that back. I really hope they bring that back for next season because I would much rather listen to those guys talk about football than, you know, no offense to any of the commentators, like where it's your job, but there's just something about listening to these two pros in this casual setting, especially like the week they had Tom Brady on.
Oh yeah,
like just getting to hear that from their perspective.
That's really cool. Three
like
top tier quarterbacks.
Yeah. And I know like some of the commentators like are former players, but like this is like the Manning brothers and Tom Brady.
But
like,
weren't they like having fun doing it? Like I thought it was.
Yeah, it was casual. It wasn't like
they weren't.
You know, they had their questions. Whoever came in, like they had their questions they needed to ask. But from there, it was just like, you know, go back and see if you can find on YouTube when Marshawn Lynch showed up. I think they got in trouble for airing that one.
Oh, that's fine.
That's a good one.
I don't know. It would be fun to do something like that. I mean, it's only for a season, but that could be fun.
It would be fun. I mean, any kind of job, I think I could get paid to sit at my computer and talk to a microphone. I think would be fun.
I'd be all for it.
I think that would be fun.
We could even
There are some lines I won't cross, but for the most part.
Okay. So on the topic of lines you won't cross, I saw this TikTok the other day. It was a stitch. And the original poster said is corn in Star Wars. And I'm like, corn? Why wouldn't corn be in Star Wars? I mean, it's just a grain.
Like the food?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then the Stitcher comes in and starts talking about how it is canon and they brought it into the Star Wars universe in the Christmas special, the holiday special, right? The family holiday special on TV. And it took her describing the scene for me to realize they're not talking about corn. They were talking about porn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. That question makes a whole lot more sense now. But
you know, when you first said corn, I was thinking of the band.
As soon as I said it, my head went to the band too.
Like when you said if corn is in Star Wars, like I don't know if this like new metal band is in a galaxy far, far away. Right. Like the whole point is that this happened a long time ago, right?
In a galaxy far, far away. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, they wouldn't be.
Yeah. Right.
Corn is not in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. There's a lot about Star Wars.
Is that a long enough episode? You're saying?
It's 30 minutes.
Talk about the NFL for 30 minutes.
20 minutes. We can talk about something else.
You had child actors are now playing our parents.
Yeah.
We'll just play a little jingle. And then that'll be our transition, since we don't have a better transition.
You want to do a commercial for something? So, commercial break. You ready? My uncle sent me a link. Dodge, the car company, is looking for a chief donut maker.
Ooh. Oh.
I haven't quite figured out how to apply for it. I know there's a video involved. And you have to make donuts with your car. And my buddy, he pointed out that if he didn't have to pay for tires, he'd be all for it. Because tires are expensive, and that's what you tear up doing donuts.
Yeah.
But then I realized not only are tires expensive, I have a front-wheel drive Ford Focus, which if I could pull off doing donuts in a Ford Focus, give me some credit, man. That's some good work. Yeah. So I was thinking about doing that. That'd be really fun. It's $150,000 a year, like a 1-year contract where you got to go out and be like an influencer places. You show up to car events and whatnot, dressed up in Dodge gear. They give you a Hellcat and $150,000 for the year. I'm like, I am on board with that one.
The first time you told me about this.
Oh, did I tell you about it already?
You mentioned it. Oh. You talked about it because I remember, and I had the same thought, honestly, when you started talking about being a donut maker. I was like, how do you make donuts in a car? Right. Like, you have like a little oven or something in there? I
mean, there is a little oven.
You're like a fryer. And you're making donuts in your car. They want a chief donut maker, so they can give out donuts at their events. No, I didn't understand the like driving in circles.
Driving in circles.
Second of all, I remember when we were I was in high school, because you're way older than me.
I'm way older.
We always talked about going, because we went to Taco Bell a lot.
Right.
And we always talked about taking the trays from Taco Bell
and
putting them under our back tires so that we had front wheel drive cars.
Man, thank you for that. Now I just got to find a Taco Bell that has trays anymore. Excuse me.
Good luck.
You don't need these, right? Aka has these. Because, man, that's how you do it. Put some trays under your back wheels. And
save your tires, too.
Save your tires, man. I mean, your back tires, at least.
Yeah.
Front tires still get tore up, especially since they're spinning and spinning and spinning. Anyways, back from commercial break. The other day... The other day, we were talking about Even Stevens.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we got on that.
I may have cut that part out of the last episode.
I don't remember.
To be honest with you.
I don't remember why we were talking about it and how we got there. But
Kim Possible.
Yeah, but why were we
My kids are watching Kim... Because my kids are watching Kim Possible.
Oh, okay.
The girl who voices Kim Possible was Ren Stevens in Even Stevens.
The character.
The character, yeah. Christy Carlson Romano.
Right.
Played Ren Stevens. So we're talking about Even Stevens, yeah. Right.
So I never watched that show. It was a little after my time. And that's okay. I did watch Kim Possible. I didn't watch it, but if it was on, I wouldn't change the channel. Kind of deal. But now she's in movies playing a parent. And that really shouldn't be all that surprising. But when you see, and I had a bunch of examples of this when we were talking about it the other day. I had a few examples when we were talking about it the other day, and it's just kind of weird. It's a little shocking to see somebody who you saw as a kid, you haven't really seen much since, and now that little kid, and not our age, but this is somebody I would have babysat kind of age, and now they're playing on TV the parent of, it's like, whoa, but you're the kid. You're the kid. This is weird.
Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, kudos to any child actor that still has the capacity to act once they get older.
Amen.
And hasn't just completely gone off the deep end. Like those Harry Potter kids, man. They did great for themselves. They did
so good. There was only one screwed up.
I'm thinking the main three.
But and them especially, they were fantastic. And I just...
Well, I have an example, too, of a movie that I saw recently.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. This guy is... he is older than me. I never watched him as a child actor, but he was a child actor.
Okay.
Who has continued to be successful. And that is the old Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so he had a movie come out this year called 8-Bit Christmas.
Okay.
Which... I piqued my interest because I'm a gamer,
right?
And the whole premise of the movie is he's telling his daughter about how he got his first Nintendo, and I was a little worried because some of the trailers just look kind of hokey, but I was like, it's Christmas, my wife loves watching Christmas movies,
sure.
And I'm like, this one's about Nintendo, so at least I'll care about it a little bit. So we watched that one, and that movie was actually pretty fantastic.
Really,
I won't say you can't predict the ending or anything like that. I think as you watch it, you kind of figure out where it's going. But man, where that movie landed, just was a good, feel good movie.
Awesome.
Just the right amount of emotional connection between father and daughter. As a father with a daughter myself, just a good example of a child actor now playing a parent, even if it's a child actor that significantly older than I am anyway.
I mean,
not that much older. He's not significantly older, I guess, but...
Did you see they're making How I Met Your Dad? This is a little bit of a...
How I Met Your Father.
How I Met Your Father, yeah. Hold on.
That one's with Hilary Duff.
That's who it was.
I have not watched an episode of that.
Is it out?
How I Met Your Mother. It's on Hulu, I believe.
Oh.
I loved How I Met Your Mother.
Right. But...
I don't see myself watching this one.
Why not?
I didn't need a remake. I mean, maybe I'll try it, just see where it goes, but...
Is it a remake, or is it...
It's not a remake. It's just like, similar premise, 30-somethings in a certain city trying to date people.
So it's a spinoff, just a spinoff.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's like related to the original storyline.
I mean, it would be cool to have a continuation or like a wasn't Kobe Smulders, wasn't she the mother? Spoiler alert.
No. She was not the mother.
Or is the mother only in the first episode for like a minute and then comes back at the end of this series?
No, and spoiler alert for the show. She is only in the last season.
Oh.
It's really the only time you get to see her, and then they have a somewhat controversial ending where the mother dies after having the kids.
Oh.
And, that's why he's telling the story to his kids.
Right.
How he met their mother.
So it wouldn't make sense to be from her perspective.
Yeah, no, she wasn't the mother. And she was a cool character. And they had to go and kill her off.
Well,
anyway, that's TV for you.
They could do a Connors thing, and I wasn't dead. I just had to poop.
No, I don't write the shows. I just watch them.
Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about that before. Consulting with fans.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't consult with fans.
I think I may have changed my position on that one.
Oh.
Just make your movies. You don't owe anybody anything.
You know what? You're not wrong. I don't disagree with that. But
anyway, we've talked about a lot of nothing, not a lot of parenthood tonight.
We talked about kids becoming parents.
We did talk about kids becoming parents because, one day, right? Maybe that's the dream.
When I was a kid, my goal was always to be a grandfather, because my
that's putting a lot of pressure on your children.
I know. My dad's father was a great we called him Poppy. He was a great Poppy. He told me once, I was like 5 or 6. I was old enough to remember it. He said a pop, because he was a Poppy. He wasn't a grandfather. Anyways, he says a Poppy's job isn't to tell you no. That's a mom and dad's job. Poppy's job is just to tell you what can happen. So like you want to go over and touch my saws? You can go touch the saw. You might cut your hand off. He'd lay out the consequences for you. But I know I had a pretty good relationship with my grandfather. We used to go fishing down in the Keys, and he was an amazing storyteller. I did not get that gene.
No,
I can do the setup, but then I lose it somewhere from between the middle and the end.
You just skip the climax.
Yeah.
You just go right. You get the setup, and then you go right to the end.
It may be what it is, but this guy, we would drive from Miami down to the Keys. It's an hour drive. He picked me up from my house. It's a 2-3 hour drive, and it was fun. It was a good day. He tells stories the whole time, and I just, because of that, I wanted to be a Poppy. I always wanted to be a grandfather, so I could. But there's that whole middle section between being
a whole generation.
Being in high school, you have to grow up, and then you got to become a father, and then you have to then have kids. Well, becoming a father, and then they've got to have kids, and you know what? Maybe they don't want to, and you know what? If they don't, that's cool too.
We'll see where it goes. Well,
yeah,
dear listener, let this episode be a lesson in showing up, because we made a commitment to record and post an episode every week, and gosh darn it, we're going to do it whether or not we have anything important to say.
We missed a week already.
Shh.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us on the Dad Shoes podcast. The Dad Group, you don't have to talk to anyone unless you want to. We would love to hear your thoughts on the NFL. And, do you find it weird when you see child actors, kids you saw as actors now portraying parents? Reach out to us on Twitter at DadShoesPod. You can also hit us up on Instagram at DadShoesPod. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.